Right, so this is the AppTrana portal. Comes with complete RBAC control, which is role-based access control. You can create as many users you want, secure them with two-factor authentication and give them specific privileges. Now, this is the same portal wherein all our 5 services, which is discover of assets, detect, which is identifying vulnerabilities within the application, protection, which is the WAF, and then monitoring, which is the 24/7 monitoring, and the CDN comes in. So let's start with the discovery, or let's start with the overview page. Now, the overview page will give you a bird's eye view on all the applications that we are currently protecting. You can create groups based on your applications and APIs. And if you scroll down, you'll see application details, like which application or API is protected. And yeah, give me 1 second. It's checking. From entire day, I'm having some problems with my net. Vinay, can you check from your end as well? I think I'm getting logged out again and again. Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think notice.
Okay, perfect. I'm in. So as you can see all the web application details, which plan they are on, whether they are on the enterprise plan, whether they're on the API security plan, when was the last scan done, vulnerabilities that were identified, and their current status. Again, it's fetching the real-time data. So again, that's the reason it says it's checking. Now, if you scroll down per specific application, you can again get a quick overview. Like for example, the first one, it says it has identified 64 vulnerabilities, and out of 64 vulnerabilities, 53 are medium, 7 are high, 4 of them are critical. But again, immediately it will let you know the protection. That is, out of these 64 vulnerabilities, how many are already protected by the core rule sets, how many are protected by the custom rules, and for how many vulnerabilities we can still create a custom rule to provide a virtual hardening. Again, there are specific vulnerabilities for which we cannot create a virtual patch because with our experience, if we try to create it, it will have an adverse effect on the application performance. So we have also listed them down. Again, this is a bird's eye view. We can go in very granular details as we move forward with the demo. Okay. It will also show you your top 5 vulnerabilities per application. Similarly, it will show you the attack trends, like what sort of attacks are happening, total number of attacks, out of which how many are DDoS attacks, how many are bots attacks, how many were volumetric attacks or geofencing attacks. And then you also get the traffic summary. Over here, you can filter the top 5 IPs connecting with your application. You can filter it with the URI or even the country. So this is a quick bird's eye view of all the application and what's going on in the application and what's the health. Any questions here?
So,
Yeah.
so the summary which we are seeing is for one single application, right?
Yes.
The
Now,
one
if you
you
want to
selected at
see,
the top.
correct. Well, I was going to save this for the last, but you can go to the dashboard, which gives you an executive summary, giving you an overall trend on all the application and its health, as you can see over here. And then it will also provide you with specifics on how to improve the application protection. This also generates an executive report, which will be emailed to you, and you can select the duration like last 7 days, 30 days, or last month. Let me just generate that report for you. Let me download this in a PDF so you have a better understanding. Let me know once you can see the report.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right, so this is the executive report giving you an overall picture of all the applications and how well they are protected right now. It will let you know the sites which are partially protected. It will let you know about the trends, whether the vulnerabilities in last 7 days or 30 days, depending upon the report you choose, whether they have increased or whether the number of vulnerabilities have increased or decreased. Similarly, you will see the protection trends, wherein you will see the what kind of attacks these applications are having, top 5 attack categories, top 5 attacking countries, DDoS attacks, whether they went up or went down, bot attacks and their trends, detection trends, bandwidth, and everything. Okay, so this is the executive summary or a C-level summary that we provide. Hitesh, was this the thing that you were looking for?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
So I just
I just want to have a look at the ABP dashboard. How does ABP, I mean, the bot attacks look like, and what are the, mitigation steps that we can, take to mitigate such attacks?
Sure. So let me just jump to the protect. I'm just skipping the discovery and detect because we are interested in the protect section. So this is the protect section, which is the WAF. Okay. Right now it's giving us the last 7 days data. We can shift it to 30 days or 24 hours also. So this will give you a core protection stating like how many DDoS bots every attack has happened. You will see the trends, and then you will see the attack summary. Now, this is the most interesting part. Over here, you can see the attacker's IP address, how many times they've attacked us, the origin, their trends. You can also filter this by attack by IP, category, or URI as well. So if I go to attack by category, these are the different types of attacks that have happened. Now over here, there are bot attacks and bot attacks policies. And if I click on view details, it will give me all the details. And then I can even check the payloads that were used and why they were blocked. So it was a Python script that was used and it was blocked by the rule 42. Now, looking at the bot specific protection, we have the bot protection module. Again, this is an integrated part of our solution. You will see the total number of attacks happened or bots that were blocked in last 7 days. Again, you can move it to 24, 7 days, or 30 days. We have a default tolerance that we have already created that is low, medium, and high, which you can kind of update anytime you want. And then we have bot classification tables over here also. These are the bot request classification, that is anomaly behavior detection. This is what our 24/7 team does based on the behavior of those specific anomalies, creating rules, honeypots, and other stuff to keep the bad bots out of your system. Okay. And allow good bots, pretender bots. So, some bots pretending to be genuine search engine bots like Google, Yahoo, but again, we identify them and we block them out. Now, this is the URI data that was, kind of affected by the bots or where we blocked it. And then these are some default policies, Hitesh. So we have default policies like allow good bots, block good uh, pretender bots, which again you can customize. Again, these are some of the examples, but you can, create a bigger list of other search engines that you deal with. Okay, just give me one quick second. Then we have the Tor IP addresses, wherein whether you want your applications to be connected by any user using a Tor IP, user agent-based detection, suspicious countries, IP reputation checks, data center IPs, and then anomaly behavior detection. So you can turn them off or on or customize them the way you want it. Any specific questions here?
Aditya, can you just tell me what is the exactly, policy which is you, let's say, for example, allow good and bad bots. What exactly we can, how exactly we can customize it, and what's the configuration it has?
Right. So, Vinay, can you give us a technical answer to
Yes.
that question? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
how
as
does it categorize good bot and bad
yeah.
bot on basis of what exactly? So that
Mhm.
we would like to know.
So take an example. Now you have enabling allow only the Google bots. So once the requests are coming from that particular bots, so we check on a multiple parameters. For an example, you say that allow only Google bots. So we check whether the requests are coming from the actual IP address of the Google bots. So we have a databases based on that. The parameters will check and the request will be allowed. So good bot pretender, if the request is coming and it looks like a good Google bot, but the IP address and the parameters of the bots, if it is not matching to the expected, then we will be considering as a good bot pretender and will block those requests. So those things will be covered under our what you call anomaly behavior detection. Will look into those things and it will verify whether it's a good bot or a good bot pretender. If it's like a good bot, it will allow the traffic. If it's anything, it's good bot pretender. Looks, it's like there might be created, the header might be as a Google bot, but the requests are coming from the malicious IP address, or that is not a IP address where the requests are coming. It's not the actual Google bot's IP address. Then we'll consider that as the good bot pretender, and we'll block those requests. Okay, so
Okay,
that is
so
about the good.
so you guys
Yeah.
have kind of some backend database which it
Yes.
refers
Yes.
to, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, for
So
all these parameters.
yes,
I
correct.
mean,
So you
user
might.
agent as well. Okay.
Correct. That's it. So secondly, you might have your own bot. So you have created your own bot. So you want to allow those bots also. We can create a custom rule. So we will take all the inputs. What is the bot name? All the what are the IP address where the request might be coming. So we will create a custom rule for to allow those particular bot requests at the application level. So that also can be done with the custom rules can be created for that things.
Okay, okay, understood. Uh, Thanks, Vinay, for
Uh,
the
so
explanation.
Vinay, Aditya, I went through your site and I saw a case study for grade attack. So what was
Carding
done
attack.
for that, and what, yeah, carding attack. So what was done, and how do you mitigate those attacks, like related to credit cards or something?
Vinay?
Yeah. So the CRED attack, what the case was is the attacker was it was not like something like a bot attack or something. Customer was trying to input the credential of the example that was, I think that was a site where the attack was happening, something it related to a jewelry industry site where the attacker was having a huge database of the credit card numbers. So where he was in that then particular application, there was a vulnerabilities. There was no any what you call captcha kind of thing that to validate the request at the application level. So what it was happening, the attacker was trying to was trying to access, or what you call, he was to selecting the application, selecting a product, coming to the card page, and he was trying to enter the manually. He was entering the card numbers manually, and he was trying to access the or he was checking the validity, like checking the validity of details, validity whatever he has, like expiry date, the CVV number. He was to checking whether all the details which has whether it's correct or not. To just to make sure that when those information are accepted for a payment, so he can use those things information to do some other malicious activity. So what he was doing, he was sending, the application doesn't have any captcha kind of thing, so he was sending a huge the request was coming with a multiple IP address, and it was a legitimate, it's a like normally browser user agent was being used. So we gone through the complete analysis how the traffic is coming, from which IP address the traffic are coming, and we found that they were using a multiple proxies IP address, or sometime he was using a normal IP address. So we analyzed everything. Then we found this is something like a carding attack is doing it. So we backend we have checked what are the what do you call, what are the parameter the request is coming, what type of carding the numbers he has the thing. So based on that, we have created a custom rule to avoid that things, any specific IP address. We have created a captcha based custom rule saying that any request coming on the IP address for this particular URI might be cart. If the request is coming on the cart for more than 10 times, put a captcha to verify whether it's a legitimate or a non-bot. If it's captcha, as an end user, he might accept the captcha. Second thing, check the parameter of the card numbers what we are using. We identify those things, and we have made a rule saying that any request on this particular card number, block those requests, so that only the legitimate user can put this credit card information, and he can pass the card process. If anything like malicious thing is coming, so based on multiple parameters, we have identified and we block those carding attacks.
So the only thing you did is to adding a captcha and blocking the
No, that is the one
IPs, right?
to identify whether it's a legitimate, sorry, whether it's a manual or a bot thing. Second thing, based on the card, we have seen a pattern like what kind of card information is inputting, what is the CVV code is inputting. So he was having a some bank related card which was starting from the card numbers. So we analyze complete pattern for our 2 3 3 hours. What is the traffic is coming? Based on that, we have created a custom rules that any card number start with this thing, having a multiple entries from same
So
IP address, then block those requests.
Okay, so Vinay, how many requests were there, like
Okay.
when this kind of attacks there? So how many requests were you saw
So
coming?
what we see is within span of 10-15 minutes there was something like 100 to 200 requests was coming,
Okay, so
and that
like
was into like not a bot, but it was not like something browse tool it was using. The user agent, the request was coming only from the legitimate user agents,
okay,
something
the,
like
the
a
user agent was a Google Chrome
browser.
browser. Let's assume it's
Yes,
a
yes,
Google Chrome browser. Okay, so the requests were coming from that particular. So you were not able to figure out, like because the user agent was a single Google Chrome, right?
correct.
So if we are seeing 200 requests, so can we like instead of IP, like does this solution block per session? Like can we limit some sessions on this one? Like I'm not talking about the threshold part, but
Mhm.
is there a way where we can limit based on sessions, like from that particular
Session I.
IP or something, that if the number of requests for a minute goes about 10 or some 15,
Correct.
that can be blocked. Is there a way
Yeah,
on
that
this
can be
dashboard?
done. So that can be done. That can, see, those things can be created. We can create a custom rules to avoid those things. For
Mm-hmm.
example, if your application what do you call is been attacked, is in a risk where this kind of attack is happening, so we can analyze the thing out exactly the attack is happening. So our signature team will go through that complete process, and they will recommend us on the some of the things, like which are the rules, which are the parameters we have to take, like as a captcha one based on the session IDs, based on this, those things we will suggest, and we can create, our team will help you in creating those custom rules. Once those rules
So
are been applied.
sorry, so where is that custom? So basically Hitesh was looking for that custom
Yes,
policy.
yes,
Where is that custom policy? We
yeah,
wanted to
it,
check that custom policy.
yes, see now. Yeah, we have an by default there are core rules where we have I think the custom rules can be created over here. Yeah, so click on create custom rule, Aditya. So here we have an option. You can just put a name, rule name, anything. Where we have multiple parameters below trigger rules. Something is there, right? So here we can select the request parameters, like Aditya, on the below steps. Yeah, we can select the URI, user agent, IP, HTTP method, GRC. So these are the self-managed rule where you can create the custom rules. Example, you say, I want to allow certain user agent. So I can select the user agent over here, and I can put the compare the value, contains or start, whatever the operators I can add that. Example, you say that I have some tools which runs on a Python where I want to allow this particular Python to be there with a specific IP address. So you might have some monitoring mechanism to send, it checks your application availability, and it might revert back the status. You might be using some command line tool or something. So we can use a what do you call that here, add that, and we can add the what do you call add more filter, and we can show you which IP address. So that tool might be request wise me coming with a particular IP address. So we can allow this particular user agent only for this IP address, so that anyone is trying to run the command line tool, that will be blocked. Only specific IP address will be allowed. So those things can be done. So specific on a bot thing. So again, what do you call, if you say user agent wise, that can be done, or any URI based. You say this particular URI, the request is what do you say, like the request is more, you want to block or something, or whitelist something, that also can be done based on the URI based also. Okay, few of the other rules, like as I told you, the captcha, putting a captcha on the at the WAP level, and the what do you called credit card. So as I told you, we found some credit card numbers starts with this particular thing. So all those things we can create a custom rule through our backend, from the backend. So our sick dev team or managed services team will help you to creating those tools from the backend, because that might be a little bit complex, where you can, there might be something goes wrong while creating the rule, so it might be impact your application accessibility. So that what we do, our team experts, expert team will create a rule. They will test that rule in the log only mode. Once everything is fine, then only they'll put that rule onto a log and log. So those testing will be done in our testing infra. With everything done, all the fine tuning is done, then only those rules will be applied on the WAF level for a specific application in a log and block mode, so that it should not impact any your application accessibility.
Okay.
So these are the
And
few
all that.
custom rules where as an end user you might know few of the parameters, what exactly the user agent is, what the request is coming. For a self-managed rule, these rules you can create based on the IP address related to specific user agent, or based on the arguments, based on the HTTP method. All those things can be created on the portal. But some little bit complex rule where our team has to analyze the traffic and some of the what do you call input from our executive team. All those things can be done with our custom rule, which will be created by our experts through backend.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Should we move on to the other modules here? Uh, Vijit,
Yes.
Hitesh? Okay. So after detect, we have, let me just go back to the detect. So this is where, as I stated, we will let you know how many vulnerabilities are open on your application, what type of top 5 vulnerabilities there are, and what's the vulnerability protection. Now, there are two ways to identify or go deeper in these vulnerabilities. A, you can simply download a report. Let me just show you the reporting structure. Okay, here we go. Can you see the report?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so this talks about the scope on which the scanning happens. So this is the DAST scanner. It will also let you know some of the logical checks that we did, some intellectual property checks of Indusface, give you a graphical representation with over the time, how many scans have happened and what's the vulnerability trend. And then for each and every vulnerability that we identify, we will let you know what type of vulnerability it is, what is the severity, and how many places it's opened on your application. What we will also do is we will also categorize these vulnerabilities in which OS top 10 category they are falling under. But the best part is for each and every vulnerability, as I stated, for critical, high, and medium, we will remove the false positives, provide you with evidences as a screenshot. We let you know whether this vulnerability is, where this vulnerability is exactly located, what is the CVSS score, the description of the vulnerability, how you can fix it, the payloads we used, and the result. And this is a POC confirming that it is a legitimate vulnerability.
So,
Okay.
just one query. If a site is not onboarded, you said you have a tool, right? So you can scan a domain if whichever I can give, and you can provide the list of vulnerabilities on that domain as well, right?
Correct. So we have the discovery tool over here. So over here, it will discover the assets based on the root domains or the applications that are protected. So this is the discovery. So there are 3 root domains currently being used. And based on these 3 root domains, we are discovered these assets, where they are located, what's the root domain, the asset type, whether it's a website or an API, and then you can protect them or ignore the site as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
Aditya, does it have any TLS information? I mean, what kind of TLS version it is being used by application? So does this report
Yes.
gives that as well?
Yes. So if there's a TLS level problem, say for example your servers, they are
Uh,
a
Aditya,
it yes.
1 second. So, I saw in your report, it was mentioned old TLS certificate found one in this summary. So, Hitesh is looking for that. Can you
Yeah.
show that?
Yeah, it's can you see TSSL
No,
level
I think
stuff?
you can just scroll up, Aditya. I think first
Oh, okay.
vulnerability will be a TSNL TLS version. Yeah,
Yeah.
not this one. Just a little bit scroll down. No, or you can come to the portal. In the portal, it has we can get the details. In the portal, we have on the ops detect. So scroll down. Yeah, second one, the older TLS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what it checks is it also checks the server and the OS level vulnerabilities. So
Mm-hmm.
not only it will check if the HTTPS connection is happening properly or not, is the SSL running on an older TLS version which can be compromised or not. It will also check if your servers have any weak ciphers enabled or not. It will list down those ciphers which you can kind of block out. It will also let you know if the SSL, if your servers have been enabled with a downgrade handshake, wherein the attacker can manipulate, create a weaker connection, and even steal cookies even through an HTTPS connection or an encrypted channel. So all those vulnerabilities will be identified as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Aditya, can we check real-time traffic logs for this SSL handshake? I mean, is it visible in the access log of that particular application?
Well, specifically SSL handshake, no.
Yeah.
But what you can
So
do is you
so
can have the real-time logs of whoever is coming to your application, which IP address they are coming from, which URI they connected. What was the status code, application response from here, the
okay,
URI
so it
specific. Yeah,
okay, so this traffic is this traffic is being captured after actual SSL handshake happens, right?
correct.
So I'm interested in in that traffic which which is prior to getting entire TCP connection. So before even that, it looks for TLS version, then it looks also for some ciphers. So that traffic is not visible, right, in the access log.
When I
Yeah.
is that
So yeah,
yeah.
understood. So in the portal, we are not providing any such detailed information, but for any troubleshooting purpose or case to case, yeah, we can from backend we can pull those things and we can share it with you on a case to case basis. Any for a troubleshooting issues, example, you might facing some TLS handshake or might be some older cipher, those things. So we can get those details and we can provide you those details through from the backend. From the portal perspective, only the access logs, which from where the IP address, which the request is coming, what is the region, what specific URL it is, what is the status code, those information can be given. And the attack logs, we can provide you the other more information like which category the attack was blocked, what is the payload, those informations can be provided. But those things, the SSL handshake, all those things that can be provided. So if you want any specific thing, that can be provided based on case to case. So from the backend, we can pull those things and we can share it with you.
Okay, so in that case, we need to reach out to your support team, right?
Yes, yes. So yeah,
To
example,
get
if
those
you
logs.
might, yeah. So if you might facing some issues with specific, what do you call specific URIs or something, you can reach out. You can register a case with us. We will identify whether it's any specific to any cipher related issues or SSL TLS version related issues. So we will analyze and we anything required as evidence showing that these are the that cipher we are getting from the end user and these are the output what we are getting at the application level. We will provide those details on the case to case basis.
Okay, okay,
and
understood.
and when like if we say that at the application level the what do you call less secure ciphers are allowed, so you want to increase that, those things what Aditya was showing, those are the few things we detect and we provide some recommendation like these are the versions it has been shown, and what is the recommendation we are telling or a solution to fix those vulnerability at the application level, those things will be shown on the portal. But at the backend logs, everything it will be we can give based on the case to case basis.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
understood.
Vinay just extending this what you said right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you will be showing that TLS version 1.2 weak cipher and everything. How is
Correct.
that mitigated? Like,
Okay.
does AppTrana block those versions, or
Yes, yes,
does
yes.
customer wants to block it?
Yeah. So as a what do you call it, on the initial stage, we will protect those things. So what we do, we create a custom rule at the WAP level so that any request coming from the lesser cipher that has to be get blocked. So we have created a custom rule and older cipher also. So we will create means we will take your input, which are the ciphers should be allowed. So based on that, we'll allow only those ciphers. Anything below that, we will block those. So these are being mitigated at the WAP level via custom rule. So you'll have a sufficient time so that you can fix those at the application level also in the later stages also.
Okay, so these rules
Why?
are created on this dashboard portal, or
Yes.
is it something you do it from backend?
Yeah. So what happens? We have an option to request a custom rule. On the third, fourth, you can see a option to custom rule, right? You can raise a request to you can just click on that confirm. So this request will go to our managed services team. Our team will check through what application behavior, everything. And if they want any input like the version, TLS version inputs or a cipher input, they will connect with you. They will take the inputs. Then they will create a custom rule and the rule will be applied at your WAP level. So only the portal will update once the rules have been applied. We will show you the status. What is the status? Whether it's protected with the custom rule or not. Those things will be shown on the portal.
And these custom rules, everything is backed by SLA. So for example, if it's a critical or a high vulnerability on which you've requested the custom rule, our turnaround time is around like 24 hours, less than 24
So
hours. I mean,
if I
yeah,
create a request right now, so by tomorrow it will be blocked, right?
Correct.
within 24 hours. Okay.
Yes. And we are also backed by our 24/7, 365 days, I mean, irrespective of holidays or weekends, by human support. And there are three ways to reach. One is the chat now option over here itself in the portal. Again, this is not going to be a bot. This will connect you to a certified support executive, and he will stay with your account till the time you go ahead and kind of, close this window.
Okay.
Second is our 24/7, 365 days support phone. Again, it's not answered by an IVR, but always a live human resource. Or else you can send us an email, open up a ticket for any medium or low level information that you might require.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
And again,
Mhm.
this is not extra registration or anything. It's in the license itself.
Okay. So, Aditya, can we quickly check the monitor section?
Yeah. So protect section, you guys do not have any questions? We are good before moving to the monitoring section, guys? Hello, Hitesh?
I'm good with that, Hitesh.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I had
So
one question regarding that,
yeah.
crate stuffing attack, which Vijit asked earlier. I need
Mhm.
some clarity on that. But you can go ahead with the monitor section. Then on the in the last part, I'll bring up the
Sure.
question I have. Yeah.
Right. Perfect. So as a part of our monitoring, like we also provide a manual penetration testing as a service, right? Which is an add-on service. But if you go with the premium plan, the standalone premium plan, the manual pen testing is a added service. I mean, it's already there. For other plans, you can request it as an add-on service. So once the manual pen testing is completed, any vulnerabilities that we detect through manual pen testing would be listed over here as well. The custom rules that is created by the team, how many custom rules created, how many attacks were blocked because of these custom rules, and their trends is also provided here. And then all the action taken, all the log details, like being updating a specific policy based on the zero-day threat, or pushing a specific config, adding a rule, everything that is done by our team would be over here. And you can even download them in a CSV format for any log purposes. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. And then the analysis again, as we say, we have the access logs, which you can download in CSV format. You have the attack logs, providing you a detailed report on which IP address tried attacking you, what was the severity, what was the action taken, the location. We also have the vulnerability logs. Again, these are very useful because over here you can see what type of vulnerabilities are open and whether they can be protected by a custom rule or not is also provided. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm. And then we have the event logs for any specific events like bot attacks or any specific events that you want to identification on. Settings is something wherein you get the complete settings. Over here, we provide you with the SSL certificate, but you can upload your SSL certificate whenever you want. I would recommend using our own SSL certificate because I mean the domain specific certificate that we issue for you guys, because the entire management of that certificate is taken care by us, like renewal, everything happens automatically. So you don't have to worry about that. Under the scanner, you can have a black box scanning or a gray box scanning enabled anytime. And you can even schedule the scans based on your application behavior. Okay. Under the
Okay.
WAF, we provide you with different statuses, like for any troubleshooting purposes or anything, you can move the WAF in log only mode or completely bypass it. This happens immediately. It's not like you request right now and then it will happen. No, it happens on a real-time basis. We also provide you with file upload settings. So if your application has a behavior wherein a lot of users are uploading different type of documents, files, you can also have those settings enabled. And
When you
then
say bypass, means like we can bypass the domain which is onboarded, so it won't
exactly,
go through AppTrana. Is that right?
yeah, we will just work as a reverse proxy and send the direct traffic to your endpoint servers. We will not be doing anything.
Okay.
Mhm. And then so We have the rules, as I stated. We also have the traffic access settings, wherein you can add specific IP addresses. You can create geofencing. You can have whitelisting IP addresses and vice versa. And finally, we have the CDN, wherein we give you granular, uh, you know, uh, controls on selecting that TTL value, on updating the new content based on your application, creating custom purges. You can also specify areas of the application that should always be cached and specific areas that should never be cached. Okay. And then on the asset discovery, you can have the settings, create the domains to, identify the assets.
Can you go back to the WAP section?
Sure.
So so these rules at the bottom, there were some rules. So these rules are for all the domains, right?
Yeah, you can
There were
actually
rules.
specify that. Say, for example, if you go to all sites in WAF, you can see the rules and you can update them. While if you are in a specific site and you are creating a rule, say,
Okay. Okay,
let
got it.
me, yeah, you can also create a rule which should be specific to that application or, to all the sites. Why it's not
Okay.
giving me the option to create a rule? Vinay?
Yeah, now you can just check it out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there might be some, because you have selected all sites, something there might be a the clearing. Oh, not happening. So you can select the, if you want to create any specific, what do you call, similar, the same rule for all the sites, you can select all the application and you can create a custom rule from here. For example, you say, I want to block some IP range for all the applications, select all the application and create rule. These rules will be created individually. There'll be a rule created on the each application, or any specific application. You can select the application and you can create a rule for any specific applications.
Okay. Okay. So we can create everything, right? Redirect rules and everything is done, right? In
Yes.
this rule section.
Yeah.
Okay. And where can I see number of attacks blocked for domains like SQL injection, cross-site sifting?
Yeah, that's under the core protection, which is the core. So there are two ways. One is the analysis, and you can just go to the attack logs and select the parameters over here, category, severity, and all. Or else you can just go to the protect section, which is the WAF, and under the core protection, you'll get that information. So do you see blocked attacks? So over here, you can select or filter out by attack categories. So you want to see like how many SQL injection happened or a content injection happening on your application. So there are 369. Once you click on view details, it will give you all the details of those 369 instances, providing with the IP address, what URI they tried connecting with, what was the severity of the attack, the originating or the location of the attacker, time and date, and then you can even check the payloads.
Okay. So if suppose a user is saying that I'm getting blocked, okay, and I wanted
Mhm.
to check it in logs, but I got his request probably after 1 hour or maybe 2 hours later that he's getting blocked. So how can I check that in this logs?
So these logs, again, these are real-time logs. So for example,
Mm-hmm.
if a user is right now, maybe, is it possible, Vinay, you can
Yeah.
do a quick
Yes. Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
attack? Yeah,
So
a
yeah, so
quick
what we
attack.
can do is, yeah, so if any attacks, if example, if a legitimate user is get blocked with some of the categories, so we will prompt, we show him the blocked page with the unique ID. So that is the one option where we can search for that. Second option based on the IP address. So if we in the block page itself, we show what is his IP address. So with the two things, we can get the we can check what exactly that is. So in the protect section, it's, yeah, coming to the over here, we can get the put the IP address over here, like what IP address the attack is happening, and filter it out, and we can see like which category that attack is happening, whether what you say, like if they say that it has been attack happening based, some might be a false positive, so that attack is happening because your application
No,
behavior
no.
is.
So user is a legitimate user. You said that unique ID. So the unique ID is inserted by the WAF to
Yes,
the
correct.
user, or
Yes,
okay.
Mm.
And
there'll be
where
one.
can I find that unique ID?
Yeah, on the protect, click on any of the payload. Yeah.
કે પછી આ બધી વાત ન કરી ભાઈ મારે વર્ક ફ્રોમ હોમ હોય તો
Payload. Click on payload. Yeah. So you can see the unique ID for each
Can I
attack.
search in this with the unique ID?
No. So here you cannot search on the unique ID. So here you can search on the based on the IP address. So the in the
unique ID is also coming. That is in the January release. So under the access
Okay.
logs, we are putting the under the attack logs, we are adding that one more field for the IDs, search attacks by IDs.
બધી ઓન સાઇટ અને હાઇબ્રિડ છે.
So over here we have an option to put the IP address by as of now. So once that unique ID get released, you can add that unique ID.
હાઇબ્રિડ વાળી વેબસાઇટ. પછી ભાઈ થઈ તો શકે કામ એવું ન થઈ શકે.
So I see a background noise.
That's fine. તમે લોકો અમદાવાદમાં છો ક્યાં છો? Anyways, so yeah, so this is how. Any other questions, Hitesh, Vijay? Yeah.
I think Hitesh has one.
Yeah, Hitesh.
બાય ક્લિયરિટી રાખજો ને પહેલેથી ભાઈ.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Questions?
Hitesh.
Hitesh is on mute, I guess.
Let me check with him. Just let me check with him.
Yep.
Can you show me that API security? Meanwhile, Hitesh is back.
Sure.
Where is API security?
Hello.
section?
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, I was speaking on mute. Sorry. Yeah. So my question was that let's say suppose I want to create a customized rule in case of crate stuffing attacks, and it say for example let's say request method is post, and my request per minute exceeds more than 2, and if my request per sessions exceeds more than 20, so can we create such kind of customized rule and apply it on the onboarded site? Is it possible in the AppTrana?
Yes, that can be created. For creating those rules, our team will help you. So they will take all your inputs. So what exactly the requirement is, so we can create those custom rules at the AppTrana. So our team will help you in creating.
But
those
is it
rules.
possible on the create rule section?
No, because see what happens here. So the parameter level, yes, we can. But as they say that they want to know this particular IP address coming only with the 20 requests. So those things can be created at the backend. Again, the session IDs, all those things. So we will what do you say? We will mention at the backend while creating the custom rule. On the portal level, put method, yes, limited to a put method. If there is any deviation on the put method, anything that can be created.
His query was that irrespective of IP, if a request is coming, any request, whoever it is, user bot, within 2 minutes, if there are more than 20 sessions,
absolutely,
we are talking about the sessions and not the request. So within 2 minutes, if there are more than 20 sessions, can we have that?
Absolutely, you can, and you can create that as well. So let me. I don't know why half of the things doesn't work.
No, you can just select the. You have selected the API one.
So anyways, yeah, you can create it from here. Like this is an API one, but you can select the specific parameters, and you can select like how many times a person can connect with you. You can select the thresholds, and you can also select like what happens, like is it a block, and also restrict it by 1 minute, 2 minutes, or hours, the way you want. You can also have a input field wherein if a immediate information or alert needs to be sent out, you can add that user as well.
So is there a provisioning to mention the request methods? Let's say for all the post requests, I have to create a condition. So is there a way where we could add that as well?
Sorry, come again.
So I want to create a condition on the basis of the request method. So is there a way where we could add such condition which says, if my request method is post and the request exceeds, the request per minute exceeds more than 10, so then I need to block the traffic. So is there a way where we could add that post request or any
Post and the
other
get method, right?
request? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can we select that, the post and the get method, or I think that's available in the
Yes,
create custom rule option, right?
yes, yes, yes. In the custom rule, in the create custom rule, we have an option. Yeah, come to settings. Yeah, come to custom rules, create custom rule. So here we can select and the parameters, request parameter, right? You can select the methods, HTTP method.
Okay.
No, you can select Aditya. I think you are now selected. Yeah, yes. Now select the equals to. So now you can select which method you want.
Okay, and on the same condition, if I have to add one more condition saying request per minute exceeds more than two, then can it be done altogether
Yeah,
on the same request? If the request is post, then I need to
correct.
block that request if it exceeds, let's say 10 number of requests per minute. So
Okay.
can that be done in the same rule itself?
Okay, so in the same rule, that's what I was telling. So that can be created through a backend team. So we will, what do you say, from the backend, we can create those particular rules for overall application post method. Anything beyond 22 requests or 10 requests in a certain interval. So what action has to be taken, whether block, whatever, that can be created. So over here, we cannot add the other parameters on this point, whether we can add based on the IP address or any other parameter, but on the specific on the request count and the duration. So those things cannot be added on this portal from the portal. That can be created as a custom rule via backend through a backend.
And that will be visible on the portal, or it will be
Yes,
there
it
in
will
your
be.
backend.
It shows on the portal all the custom rule which has been created on the backend team also that will showcase the details over here. But you cannot do any changes on that rules because
Okay, so we have to contact
yes,
the
yes. So
technician.
it will be, it will shows all the details. What is the name, description, what is the details like what thing, and it shows like what is the action taken, and you cannot do any changes which has been created through that.
And with that rule ID, you can also, find out how many attacks were blocked
Yes.
through the reporting section. Yeah.
For example, you might take, I'm not talking about the specific rule for the put method. So you have created some rule. You might created some rule, and by after creating that rule, it might be some incorrect configuration. Automatically, it gets getting blocked of some of the things. So we will show you the rule ID also. Based on that rule ID, we can say, oh, this is the which rule which is the block is happening, and you can customize again on that rule ID, whichever you have created.
Okay.
Okay, understood. So every time if we need to make any changes or if we want to change any threshold, then we'll need to contact the support team, right? In
No,
in
any
such.
complex rule which has been created for all the
Okay.
DDoS, everything that can be created for any, as you told, a put method, post method with some duration. So those things, yes, you have to connect with us. For any other related like DDoS, rate limiting, everything can be configured on the portal itself.
Okay, okay, understood.
So why we are not providing, as our solution is a completely managed services, right? So what happens sometimes when the portal admin, when they are creating some custom rules, so by mistakenly if the configuration is incorrect, so that will impact their application accessibility. So then again it will be end up with some other issues. So to avoid those things, so we have a managed service system where they will help you creating those rules, so that there should be no hiccup. So what our experts do, so they will create a rule, they will test that rule in a log only to avoid all those hiccups. Then once that has been fine tuned, then once they're successful, then they will push the rule in a log and block mode to avoid all those errors and make your application accessible.
Okay, understood.
Okay. And just going to the manage portion. So this is where you manage all the, yes. So there was a question on the API, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. What was the specific question? Can you please help us?
We just wanted to see the API security. How is it configured?
Yeah, so what we provide is something called positive security method for APIs also.
Mhm.
I think I have logged out. Why is this UI giving me like that? So just let me go to the scanning. Oh, the scan is currently running, and that's the reason it's queued up. Anyway,
Yeah, I
so
think
what?
some scanning is it is as I did the testing. So our team they are doing some demonstration on this particular application. So that might be the reason it shows on a queue. So scanning something they are doing testing it on. That might be the
Anyways, so once we identify the vulnerabilities on the APIs, again, the true security posture comes into the picture, wherein we create the virtual, custom virtual hardening, provide virtual hardening by creating custom rules, and these are the API security policies that we have in place, wherein what we understand is the discovered API endpoints as well of the host, policy performance, and the policies, wherein these are the endpoints, the method, the body, whether they're allowed or they're disabled, or you can even deprecate them. These are the action trends to date. I mean, you can filter out the date as well. And these are the, anomalies that we have identified. You can even upload the APIs and download the APIs from here. And if you want to take a specific action, you can also do that. Okay. Let me see if I have more data in the last 30 days. No, we don't. Yeah, I think we have. Why? It's still thinking. Okay. Yeah, any questions on this? Anything that you would like to explore, Hitesh, Jeet?
No, nothing from my side, Hitesh.
Uh, Aditya, can we make use of dynamic APIs as well? Uh, uh, the part of these policies, because I guess these are the static APIs that we are aware of, right? So on that basis, we are applying the policies. But what about in case if any new API is being generated and we are not aware of that? So can we make any custom policies for those dynamic APIs?
So newly discovered rogue APIs, zombie APIs, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it could be legit as well. But yeah, it
Mhm.
could be a dynamic. Based on as our financial data are taken into consideration, so it could be some kind of any account ID, or let's say suppose it could be a partner ID. So on that
Mhm.
basis, if we have to make any policies, customized policies, so can it be done in the API security dashboard?
Vinay, you want
yeah.
to take that
So
one?
here, as any new APIs been call happened, so we will discover those APIs and the API discovery. So we will provide, we will identify these are the API discover and total number of API discovered on which day and what is the what is the timestamp when the API discover. So if you want, like if you say that is a legitimate request, so you can bring those particular APIs onto a API security module. So once that has been under the API security module, then all the say like the APIs will be secured. And if there is any malicious, like example, the API security module, what it detects, what is the method, what is the parameter, what is the body, it will check if any deviation under that API call is happening, then automatically those requests will get blocked. Okay, that is the one. Second thing, if you say you have discovered new API, you might not aware whether it is a legitimate or it is a rogue API. You can directly select that and you can block that at the WAP level, so that any call happening that particular API endpoint, so we will block the request at the WAP level. We will not pass the request to the WAP. But in that, you might not aware. That is about the rogue API, you know, that you want to block. Some cases you might not know whether it's a legitimate or what. So then you can deprecate that, so that we will pass the traffic to WAP. We will not block anything. So you can just go through that API parameters, anything. Then you can take action. What exactly the action can be taken? Those things can be done. So
Okay, so
dynamic,
what is the default action taken by AppTrana
it will
on newly discovered APIs?
it will
So
be allowed.
is it
It will be allowed.
okay?
It
It
will be
will be
allowed.
allowed. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
because we might not knowing whether it's an legitimate API or ROG API, whatever, right? We will discover the by default the traffic will be passed. We will show you the discovered API. Then you can take a call based on that. Whether it's if you want to block that APIs or you want to allow that API and put the security module, that can be taken call on the policy level. We can select
Okay,
and you
so
can
From the
by
portal
default,
itself.
there are
Yeah.
no APIs which are part of API security. We have to go there manually and make it a part
no, no,
of API security,
we
right?
will provide you the complete once the API host is onboarded. So we will discover all the APIs.
Okay,
So
okay,
if you have a
understood.
1,000 API,
Mhm.
sorry, take an example, you have 100 APIs on that particular host. So you might not having that, you might not have a list of 100 APIs thing, right? So we will show
Mm.
you all the APIs whichever has been called within 24 hours. So now take an example, now within 24 hours, you found only 75 APIs has been called, and we show these are the APIs which have been request has come, and these are the API endpoints. So you can select whether it's an old API, what do you call ROG API, or we want to put that API into security module. You can do that. After sometimes you might see that some 25 new API call has happened. Then you can think that might be new API discover has happened. Then you can again put on the whether you want to allow, block, deprecate, those can be done. After a few months, you might see a new again, your application team would have created some new endpoints you might not aware. So they are hosted on the server and the call is up, this the requests are coming. Then our API discovery will detect and it will shows those details. Again, you can check with your team, and or you can put under the security module and you can protect those API calls also. If something is deviations happening, then you can check with your application team, take the inputs, and based on that we can customize the rules, whether what method it is,
Is
everything.
is there a limit for API discovery? Like if a particular domain is having 100, 200 endpoints, or like we have around 20, 30 endpoints, which have around more than 30 endpoints. So is there a limit on number of APIs
No,
discovery?
No,
no.
no, so no.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Um,
Right now.
as of now, nothing from my side. There are a few, but we are already past the time.
Yeah.
So, Hitesh, you have any questions?
No, not as of now. But I would like
Uh,
to, explore this tool more in depth, because we need to see the,
yeah.
the real time traffic, how the exactly attacks are mitigated.
We can
So
provide you with a 14-day no obligation trial, wherein you can onboard the site. You will get access to the portal.
okay.
We have a timely POC reviews as well, wherein after a week we will again connect back with you and show you what has been done so far. Right, get your inputs, customize the POC further. Like we also provide you with the in this trial, we also do the managed services piece, wherein we will remove false positives. We can create a couple of custom rules for you, or allow you to create those custom rules, get the reports out. So yeah, we'll be very happy. We can arrange that. No obligation trial for 14 days.
Okay, okay, that would be great. And I would like to know whether how the decision is taken basis of on the basis of serving the traffic for, let's say, any particular onboarded website. Suppose let's say I have few applications which are hosted on in the in the Australia, let's say, and some of them are hosted on the US. So how is the point of presence for this AppTrana?
Yeah, so as
So
I stated, we are on Amazon Cloud, bottom to up, AWS infrastructure, right? So we have multiple WAF blocks across globe. So we have a WAF block in Europe for European customers. We have WAF blocks in US for US customers. We have a WAF block in New Zealand for Australia and New Zealand customers. We have a WAF block in Dubai for Middle East customers. We have a WAF block in Singapore and India. So based on the geolocation of your application, the deployment of the WAF block automatically happens.
okay, so nearest pop will be preferred. I mean, for that
Yes,
particular
correct,
region, right?
correct.
Okay, okay. And is there a way where we could check any, latency issues or something like that in case, suppose, let's say some of the region is facing, latency issues in that particular pop. So do we have a backup plan for that?
Yeah, I mean, as I stated, we are on AWS. with auto scaling, high availability. And then yes, we have the disaster recovery in place as well, wherein we have active and passive servers. So automatically, and thirdly, we also have a bypass fleet enabled with us. So for example, if for some reason, we provide a 99.9999% of uptime, guarantee, but for any reason, if AWS infrastructure is down, we have this bypass fleet, wherein your application will always be available irrespective of our service going down or not. And on the latency part, do we have something to capture latency on real-time basis?
Yes. So on the portal, yeah,
Mhm.
on the portal, on the portal level, we can, there's any option that we can see, but at the backend we can analyze. We have a tools to understand like what is the latency is happening on the application, whether it's on an infra level or on the application level. That we can just check and we can give them the inputs accordingly.
But as per the customer points of view, do we have any provision to, where we can go in and check whether this particular POP is facing any issues or not, or it might have some kind of latency issues. So can we
Yeah.
have any status page or something like that for,
Yeah, I
to look
think
for those POP locations?
so. We are working on that. Yeah, understood that your requirement. So we are working on that. I think in coming days we might provide you the some not AppTrana portal, might be a different portal where you can see the status of the WAF block and what is the status, what is the latency. So that can be that we are working on that. That can be given in the coming days. So that our team they are working on to give those details in a different
Yeah.
portal, not on the AppTrana, but on a
Yeah,
different
so you
portal.
will have to access a different portal for that. We're still provided by
Okay.
Indusface, but you will have to access through a different portal for that specific.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
the reason why I ask this question is, we do get such kind of requests, on daily basis, whether to see whether, that particular WAF is any phishing issue or not for those POP locations. So that is why this is, critical for us, this service.
Mhm.
Yeah.
uh, so the number of hops, everything would be seen on that different portal, or how is it? Like if I want to
Yeah.
check,
So wherever the application is hosted, it will give you information on the specific, location, AWS location that it's been used, right? And then you can see more information on the and get the more traffic analysis done from that portal itself.
okay, so is that portal in the development mode, or is it like
Yeah,
how soon it can be
it's in the
launched?
January release. It's in the January release. Yeah. I mean, I think Vinay would have access to it, but I
Yeah.
don't know if he has the
No, I
authorization
think
to
it
show
yes,
that.
it is on a development stage because our team they are working on that. As stated by it can get released in a couple of months. So already they are in the process of on that. So already we have tested some beta. Still there's some enhancement as they are doing it. They are in that process. It might get released in couple.
Okay, okay, fine. Good from my side.
Mhm.
I don't have any queries. Hitesh, if you have.
Yeah, okay, all right. So I'll be looking to have some kind of hands-on, and I would like to check, some real-time traffic on this
Mhm.
particular WAF, being served for at least, as you said, 10 to 15 days. That would be really great.
Sounds good. So what I'll do is I'll
Mhm.
send you an email shortly with some more details on AppTrana, the PPT. But it will be a
Okay.
different PPT. It will have more technical information like the traffic and routing and everything. Whenever you're ready to start with a 14-day trial, just let us know, and we will handhold you through the entire onboarding process, which hardly will take 15 to 20 minutes, not more than that.
Okay, great,
Okay.
great. Yeah,
Mhm.
thanks a lot for that.
Great.
Okay.
Anything else before we wrap up the
Thank you.
call?
No, I guess we are good. And thanks a lot
Okay.
for this session. It was very informative.